important component of the contributory pension scheme is the investment of the pension fund. That is, money contributed into the retirement service account, invested, and interest accruing to these accounts. Hello and welcome to Pension Matters, the pension awareness program where we teach you all you need to know about the Pension Reform Act of June 2004 that was amended in year 2014. My name is Princess Rabi Ibrahim and I'm so glad to have you join us today. On today's episode of the program, we'll be discussing the investment of pension funds and a lot more. For details of this and more, stay with us as the program will continue shortly.
Do you know there is a new pension scheme in Nigeria? It is mandatory, it is contributory, it is fully funded, based on individual retirement savings account. Under the supervision of the National Pensions Commission, the new pension scheme guarantees lifelong financial independence for every citizen of Nigeria in public or private employment. PENCOM says it's a new dawn. Call the National Pensions Commission now or log on to www.pencom.gov.ng for further details. PENCOM, your contribution counts.
Welcome back. The program is Pension Matters. In the old pension system, that is the defined benefit scheme, there was no investment of pension funds. But in the new contributory pension scheme that was enacted in year 2004 and amended in year 2014, pension funds contributed into the retirement service account are invested and interest accrued to this account every month, to the joy and happiness of the account holders. That's what we'll be discussing today on Pension Matters. But before then, let's join Adanze Okorocha to tell us what is trailing in the pension industry. Ada, over to you.
Thank you very much, Princess. Viewers, welcome to Pension Trail. I am Adanze Okorocha. First, DG PENCOM backs 2015 The Sun Service Award. The Director General, National Pension Commission PENCOM, Mrs. Chinelo Anoh-Amozu, has been adjudged the Best Sun Newspaper Public Service Award. Presenting the award to her on behalf of the management of Sun Newspapers, the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, commended Mrs. Chinelo Anoh-Amozu on her commitment to ensuring the success of the contributory pension scheme. The managing director and editor-in-chief of the newspaper, Mr. Eric Osagi, said the emergence was because of the recognition and her remarkable achievement in the pension industry. Secondly, special unit to drive micro-pension. The National Pension Commission PENCOM has established a special unit to drive the implementation of micro-pension scheme in the country. This was disclosed by the Commission in a release on their website. The implementation of micro-pension initiative will have the informal sector segmented into three: the low-income earners, high-income earners, and the small and medium-scale enterprises. PENCOM also said they have already started the sensitization of service providers, relevant regulators, as well as targeted workforce in the informal sector, with a view of creating an enabling environment that will meet their peculiarities. Lastly, those wishing to change PFAs have to wait a little while. Employees wishing to switch from one pension fund administrator to another have to wait a little while. This is because efforts to establish a seamless process of such transfer are still in progress. The National Pension Commission, PENCOM, pension operators and vendors are engaged in finding a robust electronic device that will drive the process. The president of Pension Fund Operators Association of Nigeria, Mr. E. Longe, recently said that all issues concerning the window transfer is being dealt with properly to avoid multiple registrations. Well, viewers, this is much we can take on Pension Trail today. Let's get back to Princess.
Thank you very much, Adanze, for that wonderful update on what is trailing in the pension industry this week. Viewers, you're on to Pension Matters, and now it's time for our Up Close segment. On our Up Close segment today, we'll be discussing monitoring, supervision, and investment of pension funds. And to do that with me today is the head Investment Supervision Department of the National Pension Commission in the person of Mr. Ehimeme Ohioma. Sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
The CPS has brought a new innovation, that is the contributory pension scheme, has brought innovation in the pension industry and pension asset management in Nigeria. You monitor, you supervise the investment of this fund. Can you throw more light on the activities of this department?
Thank you. Usually, the workers contribute. The contributions do not just sit with the PFAs.
Good.
They are invested so that they could accrue income, so that at retirement, your RSA balance is a combination of your contributions, the investment income you have earned during the period, and your past service, your accrued rights obtainable from the redemption of your bond. So there are three components that make up your retirement savings account balance at retirement. The accrued rights, it's your past service to the government prior to the pension reform.
Okay.
The pension reform came into being in June 2004. So your service to the government up to June 2004 is given as a bond to you. Then at retirement, that bond is redeemed by the government.
Exactly.
And added to your contributions which you started from July 2004 to your date of retirement, which is now invested, and in addition to that contributions, you have your investment income. So that is what makes up your retirement savings account balance. But what do we do in the investment supervision department? That department, one, develops the investment guidelines, regulations, and rules on how the pension funds are to be invested. When we do that, we expose it to the Nigerian stakeholders, to the public, and we expect feedback comments. When we get the said feedback comments, these comments are now updated on the regulation and issued finally after approval by the board of the commission. What other functions do we carry out in the department? We've got to monitor the PFAs to ensure that they abide by the rules
Exactly.
of the investment that we've given to them. So we do that on a daily basis.
Right.
So what do the PFAs do? Their daily investments are made, and they send us daily reports on their portfolios, which we review, look at, do they comply with those rules or not? If they do not, we sanction, because we're very, very strict about the investment of the funds, that they have safely invested. So any violation of such rules, they are sanctioned. And, we just ensure that they do the right things. So those are primarily the two major functions of the Investment Supervision Department of Commission.
Some time ago, it was stated that pension funds can be used for mortgage. So, if pension funds can be used for mortgage, so how can we assess it?
Thank you. In the amendment to the Pension Reform Act, that is the new Pension Reform Act 2014, there was a new provision.
Yes.
The Commission understood the issues of housing as a major need
Yes.
of man. Most Nigerians, and I'll give a background to this, most times when people retire and they're paid their lump sum, the first thing they do is to go start up
A building.
a building, because in the course of their working life, maybe because of low wages, they were, or responsibilities, children's education and all others, they were not able to build. So at retirement, the lump sum is kind of like a bulk money for them to start up. And they start up, but they're not able to finish. And they send us pictures of those buildings to tell us, oh, these are the level of, they've gone in the properties and they want more money. And we tell them, sorry, these funds really are not for you to go start up your building. So we kind of like got to know about the major issues. And so what did we do during the amendment of 2014 Act was that we included a provision in the Act to allow people to use part of their retirement savings account balance to be able to access mortgage. We're not going to give you the monies to go and start building your homes. in normal jurisdictions, in other places, is if you want to build, you get a mortgage loan, which is long-term, 20, 25, 30 years, and you build, or you buy a property, and you start paying monthly to repay that mortgage loan. So what if you have a property, that mortgage loan, that repayment, is what you should have used as rent.
Exactly.
So you are in your property, you are now paying your rent to the mortgage company that granted you the loan. So this is the way the process is going to work out. You go get a mortgage loan from a primary mortgage bank.
Yes.
Come to your PFA. I've gotten an offer for a mortgage loan, and the PFA will look at the documents, satisfy itself that it meets the requirements, the regulations, the guidelines issued by the Commission, because we're almost finalizing the guidelines for you to be able to use your RSA for mortgage.
Good.
So you're going to come, the PFA is going to look through the offer letter and all the accompanying documents that it's in line with the regulations issued by the Commission, and now allow you access subject to a maximum of 25% of your RSA balance. So that money is not given to you, it is released to the primary mortgage bank that is offering you that mortgage. So you now buy your house and you now start paying what you should have actually used as rent as repayment for that loan. So you are in your own house and you're able to solve your accommodation problems.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Viewers, the program is Pension Matters, and I like what I'm hearing here. Mr. Oyoma has been throwing more light on how to use some part of your RSA balance to own your own house. So I'm sure it's a cheering news to RSA account holders in Nigeria. The program is Pension Matters, and we'll take a short break now. When we come back, Mr. Oyoma will throw more light on the activities of his department at the National Pension Commission. Don't go away.
Do you know there is a new pension scheme in Nigeria? It is mandatory, it is contributory, it is fully funded, based on individual retirement savings account. Under the supervision of the National Pensions Commission, the new pension scheme guarantees lifelong financial independence for every citizen of Nigeria in public or private employment. PENCOM says it's a new dawn. Call the National Pensions Commission now or log on to www.pencom.gov.ng for further details. PENCOM, your contribution counts.
Welcome back. Sir, before the break, I was going to ask you about returns on investment. We know that money in this retirement savings account are invested by the pension fund administrators, although they're not the custodians. So what happens to the returns that comes from this investment? How is it handled?
Thank you very much. I need to clarify some wrong insinuations by RSA contributors concerning the returns on investments of the pension funds. It doesn't go to the commission, it doesn't go to the PFAs, it doesn't go to the custodian. It goes into the pension fund, the owners of the pension fund. Right. So when the funds are invested, the funds are even invested in the name of the RSA contributors, not in the name of the PFAs. So when the returns, the income on investment comes in, it goes into the accounts of the RSA holders. But there's been this wrong insinuation by the public that the PFAs are using their money or investing their monies and not giving them the returns. No, the investments are done in the name of the RSA holders, and the investment income also goes into the accounts of the RSA holders. And these are strictly monitored by the National Pension Commission. The only entitlement of the PFAs in that is a regulated fee. It's a regulated fee. That is the only charge and income the PFAs make from carrying out their functions as pension operators. And that is highly regulated. It's been reduced from 3% when the pension reform started, when we started investment activities in 2013, 2006, and it's down to 2.25%. So as the fund's size increases, the rate
increases
will be reducing.
Or reducing?
Yes. So that's why I said it's reduced from 3% per annum to 2.25%.
You mentioned something that is very interesting that our viewers have been writing and sending email concerning it. That is the issue of whatever interest that accrue to the investment goes directly into the retirement savings account. If that is the case, why don't you allow these contributors to have a say in the areas they want to invest their money?
Well, the issue there is a lot of Nigerians think they are investment managers. Investment management is a skilled profession.
Okay.
You need to be trained. You need to have gone through formal qualifications, acquiring qualifications, as well as experience, on the job training. So I think we should leave specific skills to people that are trained to do that. I'm also a trained investment manager, but I cannot even intervene in the investment activities of the PFAs.
Good.
But what have we done? I mentioned earlier, once we develop guidelines on how these investments are going to be made, we expose them to the public to give feedback comments. And we collate those feedback comments and we take the superior arguments. So we try to take in the opinions and feedback of members of the public on how the funds should be invested, and that's the total document. But going forward also, what we intend to do, we've also finalized the amendment to the investment guidelines, is to come up with a multi-fund investment structure. What that means is, we know we are all in different age brackets. You have the young people that have just started work.
Yes.
The risk appetite of such people is usually high because they have a longer investment tenure. But as you tend towards retirement, your risk appetite reduces.
Yeah.
So you now start looking at investment only in fixed income securities, not things that are variable. So we're going to have 4 funds. The fund for the young contributors, another fund for the middle age, then you have another fund for those who are close to retirement, 5 years to retirement. Then you have the retiree fund. Each of those funds are going to be differentiated by the level of risk in those portfolios in terms of the assets that are to be invested in. Normally, investment in equities, ordinary shares, are termed to be risky. So those investments will be high in the fund for the young people, but minimal for those who are in retirement or close to retirement. But we also know, for those funds, those asset classes that are risky, the returns on them are also very high. So you have high risk, high return. So for those people, because if you're investing or your fund is going to be there for 20-25 years, you need to earn above inflation returns.
Exactly.
So, and those assets are the kind of assets that generate those above inflation returns. So you now have a choice to make a pick out of those funds based on guidelines also by the Commission, so that you don't take unnecessary risk, on how, so you'll be able to make a choice on determining which fund you want to belong to based on your age when the amended investment regulation is issued by the Commission.
So when are we expecting this to be out?
It should have been out last year.
Okay.
But we're all aware that the boards of most federal government institutions have been dissolved.
Exactly.
The moment they are reconstituted by Mr. President, that guideline will be approved.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming to the program. You've been able to enlighten, educate, and inform our viewers, especially the RSA holders, on what is going on concerning their contribution, how it is invested, and how National Pension Commission is on top of their game in monitoring this investment and making sure that whatever interest that accrues to this retirement savings account goes directly to the retirement savings account. I must thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you very much.
Don't just call you obligers.
Thank you.
Viewers, the program is Pension Matters, and you've heard it all from Mr. Ohioma of National Pension Commission. He talked about investing the money you've contributed into your retirement savings account and how the interest accruing to this investment goes directly into your retirement savings account. The PFS don't actually have business from the interest that accrue to investment made from your contribution. The program is Pension Matters, and up next will be pension education.
Thank you very much, Princess. Hello viewers, welcome to this week's pension education segment. My name is Igbo Patrick. Last week, we looked at withdrawing from the scheme based on the voluntary contribution. We shall take a look at withdrawing from the scheme based on mandatory retirement. The Pension Reform Act 2014 allows for 3 modes of withdrawing from the scheme based on mandatory retirement. The first being the program monthly withdrawal. The second is the program monthly withdrawal with an option of a lump sum. And the third being a lump sum with an option of an annuity. Today, we shall focus on the monthly program withdrawal. This can be done by approaching your pension fund administrator. The pension fund administrator will, based on your last 3 months pay slip, determine, after imputing on the retirement template based on your age, your length of service, and also the balance in your retirement savings account. The template in question can determine how much that can be taken every month by the retiree in question. For example, maybe the balance in your retirement savings account is about 10 million. It means that the 10 million in question will be broken down into various months, and this payment will be made to you on monthly basis based on a stipulated time as decided by your pension fund administrator. Now, the second option, which is the program withdrawal with an option of a lump sum. The difference between the two is that here a lump sum is allowed to be taken by the retiree, and this lump sum is also based on the balance in your retirement savings account. Earlier I said, assuming the balance in your retirement savings account is about 10 million, what it means is that you can take as much as 50% as a lump sum, provided that the balance 50% will be enough to pay you a monthly program withdrawal on monthly basis for a stipulated number of years. Once this is computed and calculated by the administrator, 5 million will be paid to you as a lump sum, while the balance of 5 million is initiated into a monthly program withdrawal. And this is what you will access on monthly basis through your pension fund administrator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick, for that pension education. The pension education segment on this program has become very important and very vital to our viewers, judging from the letters, emails, and text messages we receive from them commending the pension education segment. So, Mr. Patrick, good work. Keep up the good work. Viewers, on that note, we come to the end of our program for today. That's our package of pension matters for this week. We do hope you enjoyed all our offerings. I'm looking forward for you joining us next week, same time, same station, for another exciting episode of Pension Matters. Until then, I remain yours truly, Princess Rabi Ibrahim. Enjoy your weekend.